Good evening to everyone in Australia. Good morning to the UK and Americans. You just do you, and whatever time it is, good whatever. So my name's Theo. I'm here with Morgan and Simon, who are playing off in round 6 in the X and O bracket for the Oceania bracket of the Marvel Crisis Protocol Season 8 on TTS. With me is Jay, or El Shaco, as Morgan called him.
Shaco. It's learn how to speak. I know we're Australian, but come on, we can learn that. Hi everyone. I'm a pretty mediocre player who just comes up with random list ideas. But Theo asked me to commentate this, and it's because Theo needed some personality.
Yep, and I did say that earlier today we'd call this as though it was Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant at WrestleMania, and Simon Hall's told me that he'd prefer to be John Cena. So we now need to figure out if Morgan is Brock Lesnar. We can see him or not. Well, I was going to say we need to
we've got to see if we can even see.
Yeah, well, he put that up there as well, that it doesn't matter if his webcam's on or off, we won't see him. But now we need to find out if Morgan's going to be The Miz or if he's going to be Brock Lesnar. So that'll be interesting. Look, I think
the most interesting thing is the fact that it actually says Morgan versus Morgan for this event.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's very I think my prediction here is that Morgan's going to win.
Yep. So we might just, that's very strange. We might just go through quickly the rosters. So most people know who Morgan is, but Jay, I thought you might lead us off by just running through what Morgan's brought to the table today. And
because I was Morgan's first victim this season. So yeah. And he liked my list, but I'm not going to talk about me right now. So let's just start with talking about his secures. So he's gone with Portals Overrun City with Spider People, so 18.1, with 4 objectives that can cause some damage and movement. Is it? No damage, sorry, it's just movement.
So on a skull, they're placed within 2 by the opposing player. It's pay to flip.
Yeah, so it is a pay to flip. Then there's also Mutant Madman turns City Centre into Lethal Amusement Park, also 18 points, with a pay to flip. And on the fail is damage. Oh, no, sorry, it's not on the fail, sorry. And then during cleanup phase can cause damage. So 2 pay to flips so far. And the third one is not a pay to flip, but a pay to steal.
Yeah, so the trick with the sword base is that if it's not being contested by somebody, you can pay to automatically control it. And if it is being contested, you roll a dice, and on basically a hit success, you control it. The trick with that one is that if you control 2 out of the 3 or more than your opponent, you can actually push them in the power phase. One enemy character pushed small, which is nasty.
So a little bit of control there. And that one's also a 14, which is interesting. And I'll do a little bit of analysis after this, because then looking at his extracts, he has got scrolls, which is 3 objectives, one of which you can find, and it gets rid of the other 2. Yep. And you just try and hold that one, which is another, effectively like a pay-to-play, but they all are, but this one involves another dice roll.
Yep, an RNG.
And it is another one that does a bit of movement shenanigans in moving the bearer to slow. Then there's Montesi formula, which is 3 spell books. Each character can only hold 1, which give a beam 3 6 dice attack, which is very handy. And now both of those are 17. And then the last of the extracts, or the first, depends on what order you're looking at them, is Mutant Extremists target US senators, which is very similar to to the Skrull Infiltrator, whereas there's only 1 once you find it, and it does slow down speed as well. And one thing that I did notice is that of the objectives, there's 2 14s, 2 18s, and 2 17s. So it seems like Morgan is trying to set up for those points costs and has a lot of lists planned for those ones. I haven't looked super closely at the other set of crises.
We can have a quick look over there now. So I'll just bring us around.
Let's go for a wander.
Yep. We see with Simon, he's running pushing towards a 19-point limit. So if Morgan gives Simon his secures, Simon will be hoping for that 19 points. He's got Demons Downtown, up and down on the E, and he's got Intrusions, which is again 19 points across on the C. So 3 in a row and keeping the game nice. So
teleporting across the middle line.
Yeah, it's very much set up for a fight. And then Mutant Madman is the other one, a pay to flip 18 as per Morgan's. And then we've got across here the extracts. We've got Skrulls, which is we talked about for Morgan. We've got Research Station, which is the single point worth 2, and every time you control it, you can progressively push that up the board to your opponent's end to double up those points when it's near there.
Yep.
That's a 16, but that's very much a fighty option. And then we've got Fear Grips World, which is or Hammers as it's called. 4 objectives on the D that you pick up. They give you an extra attack dice and make you pay an extra point for an extra power for tactics cards per hammer you're holding. Morgan's obviously gone very, very neutral on his. Whereas I think Simon has, well, I guess it's neutral, but it looks like he's spoiling for a fight. He's wanting things that are going to make this a fight.
A lot of things that tie into the attrition sort of game, by what I can see there. And to be honest, like looking at Morgan's, a lot of his, some of them do play into attrition slightly, but more into the board manipulation of characters, from what I can see.
Correct.
Yeah, which both are interesting ways to play, and when you then compare it to the lists, it does give that little bit more information.
Yep, so we've got a map out now. So let's quickly run through the rosters, Jay, just very quickly.
Wait. We don't have Morgan versus Morgan anymore. It's now Morgan versus Saviour.
That is good.
Which is a bit more grandiose. I'm not going to deny it.
We'll look at the rosters as they're selected. I might just quickly... a lot of people won't know Simon. So I just wanted to give a little bit about his background. So I've known Simon since about 2007 with Warhammer Fantasy Battle. So Simon's first season of Marvel, but he's a very, very experienced gamer. He's also done some amazing things in the War Machine and Hordes competitive scene, including winning some quite major tournaments. So I just wanted to I guess, communicate to people that this is a bloke who, even though he hasn't appeared in Marvel circles, has an incredible gaming pedigree and has won a lot of big events. So he has a lot of I guess, credibility to be here in this this final matchup.
And from what I've read as well, isn't like MCP some of the developers ex-Warmer Hordes developers themselves?
They are. That's correct.
Yeah. So he may have a natural affinity to those designers or anything. Does he still play Warmer Hordes? Do you know?
I don't know if he's playing a huge amount of it. It's a different system in that it's alternative turns, a bit more similar to Warhammer, whereas, of course, Marvel is alternate activations. But I think certainly he's played enough games in general to know how they work. We've got a roll for priority here.
Oh, here we go. It's the exciting part.
And we've got Morgan's got priority there.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Simon's hasn't come up, or it's already disappeared.
He rolled.
It didn't come up.
He rolled.
It didn't come up
hit.
On Streamer View.
Oh, okay. I saw two come up. So if you look down in the corner there, he had 2
I saw
successes.
it down there, but it didn't come up for his stats. But anyway, that really doesn't matter. Yeah, so
I'll reset it then and see how we go. Yes, so Simon does come with a long pedigree, and of course Morgan should be well known to everybody.
He's been doing really he's an amazing gamer, quite a lovely bloke. I enjoyed my thrashing by him, but I'll still say that my win of this season was Morgan actually fearing my list a little bit, and I got a shout out, even though mispronunciations aside. Yeah. Unless there's actually an El Shaco out there, and I'm just assuming it's me.
So Jay, we have your favourite style of map come out. It's going to be double Ds. We've got Fear Grips and Spider Portals. So pay to play, very, very even.
And 18 points. So that's an easy decision for Simon to decide what points it's made for him.
It is. It probably sits a little bit easier with Morgan. 18 points is one that Morgan's doubled down on with 2 crises, so he probably has a particular build in mind. But Simon has 18 points in his, so he must have an idea.
3 18s in his. So yeah, I think both of them probably have a very planned 18-point list.
Now Simon's taken some time to orient the board there, and we've got Magneto coming out, or potentially coming out, so we can see a size 4 here, a size 4 quite central, and then we've got some size 3s floating around, and then 2 size 3s and some cars. Plenty of stuff for Magneto to throw on this map.
So at 18 points, do you think both will run Malekith? Wait, does Simon have Malekith?
Simon does have Malekith.
Do you think they'll both run Malekith, or will neither run Malekith? I think Simon's less likely to, because the way he's orientated the board, and if he's running Magneto, like Magneto Malekith, that's 13 points. That's pretty heavy.
Aggressive. Look, I would. I
Yeah.
don't know what Simon does. He's been very cagey this season. I think though. I think that that Magneto and Juggernaut have probably got him here, and he'd be pretty brave to move away from what works. I think that would
Mm.
be where he'll
I wouldn't
go.
be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised to see Scarlet Witch for No More Mutants tech.
Yes, as a
Um,
potential counter to Malekith.
yeah, I did it before during the season using what's his name?
More,
Using
more
more
and
with Shush, and yeah, it was very disruptive, and I was very happy with that
So the
because
thing that's useful to note is that when you use that, they've still paid the power. So he's basically
yeah,
gone to power. And you've turned off his charge for the turn, and that means he doesn't have that power accessible to modify skulls, and it also
yeah.
limits his opportunity to rebuild it. So it's quite a useful card for really just slowing down the pain train that is Malekith. Um,
The most
with
important thing, though, Theo, the most important thing, I think, for taking on Malekith, do you think we're going to see some new Deadpool play because he can drain power off people?
I do
Just
not.
yeah, neither do I. Like
No, it's sad, isn't
poor
it?
Deadpool. I'm a major Deadpool fanboy, and like I remember one time going out to the pub on my birthday dressed in a Deadpool morph suit, and actively had a woman say she was looking at my bottom while I was dressed in said morph suit. I don't know why, because my bottom is not that impressive, but it was nice anyway.
Well, if
Um,
America's got their ass, maybe you're Australia's ass.
Geez, that's horrendous for Australia.
It's an it's an interesting choice for Morgan as well. I know Morgan quite likes his Hulk play. The question will be whether he
Hmm.
feels that Hulk is helpful into potentially Malekith or Magneto. I tend to find that Hulk can often get bombarded away by Magneto, just throwing lots of
Well,
things at him, but he's very good against
before we
Malekith.
do anything, before we actually keep talking, what leaders do you think they're going to take? So I think it's pretty obvious Morgan's going Sam because he doesn't have the stuff to go Malekith led, and that's
Yep.
his only other leader. Um, Simon, however, has a bit more flexibility there because both the Brotherhood leaders can go into Cabal, which adds a little bit there. And then looking at the rest of his list, just let me quickly
So he's got the interesting one. I think is Dark Star in there. I think she's a very interesting piece. But look, I don't think we'll see Mystique. I don't think she likes the pay to flip. It doesn't really suit her leadership.
No, well, it gets rid of her leadership, absolutely. Um,
The other thing I think we've got as a bit of a tip is that whilst he does have Malekith, he doesn't have Dark Rain, he doesn't have Cosmic Invigoration and Red Skull. So he's
mm.
not really leaning into those cards. I think he'll want Magneto because I think he'll want to put Magnetic Refraction up. Um, but here we go to roster
Oh,
coming
here we
out
go, here we
now.
go, here we go. So I see Rogue, so that's suggesting that it's going to be
Yep. So he's gone four wide. Um, so we've got Magneto leading Juggernaut,
oh, so it's 5 week. Oh no, wait.
Rogue and Hood.
Oh, that's the other half of Hood.
Yep.
Um, yeah,
And
so
and
yeah,
Sam,
so
Hulk, Black Widow, Juggernaut, and Toad coming into him. We have seen Magnetic Refraction up, which I just called before it happened.
hmm.
As he's reorganising them, we've got Asteroid M, Do You Know Who I Am, and Patch Up, so both restricted cards out, as well as Magnetic Refraction, so quite a defensive card selection for
Yeah, and
Simon.
plus with Hood, who, as a lot of people know, does a lot of healing and the like. That's like a very positive healing. Like it shows that he's gone for very much in the defensive sort of
Yep.
regard. Juggernaut's got his minus to damage, high defense in mags. Hood, as we said, and Rogue is also very defensive as a character. So that is, yeah, he's gone for a very defensive list, preparing for the heavy attack. And
Black
this is
Widow
talking
is an
Simon's list, sorry.
Black Widow's an interesting choice for Morgan on a pay to flip that's based on energy. She only has the 2 energy defense, but I think with what
What other 2 points
Morgan's
did he have? He had what? He had what? Toad? Did he? That was his other 2 pointer?
he could have. I'll have to check on that one. I think he's got Toad in the roster, so
Yeah,
it
he's
might
got
be
Toad
that
in the
those
roster.
are the only
So
two twos he had. What you'll watch for Morgan here is Morgan has a bit of a trademarked rotation of Hulk and Juggernaut, so he'll rotate those two on his front line to try to spread out the damage a little bit, and he'll rely heavily.
sorry to. Oh, sorry, I'll let you finish your thought.
So
Sorry.
he'll rely very heavily on Hulk's throw to provide control of Magneto, and then he'll, when he needs to, back it up with Juggernaut with his Do You Know Who I Am card. So he'll rotate
Yeah.
those two, and that should be his first 3 turns. Will be a Hulk throw, If Hulk takes some damage, he'll rotate Juggernaut in for a Do You Know Who I Am, and then he'll rotate Hulk back in again for some more control.
It is interesting, like looking at it all. So, like Avengers Assemble allows a lot more of extra movement. Plus, Sam means extra movement as well. So what I'm thinking the reason behind Black Widow, like, so who have we got? Sorry, can you just go through Morgan's list again so I can see Jugs, Hulk, Sam, Black Widow. Who's the other one?
Toad.
Oh, it is Toad. Okay.
It is Toad. Yep.
So Black Widow was the take to if he wanted to take Toad, so he would have affiliation.
Oh, he may. Yes, that would make sense. No Luke Cage is interesting. Perhaps that's to do with the points limit. He would have liked Luke Cage, I'm sure. So
yeah, but then he'd be sitting there without one and missing two massive bruises in both Hulk and Juggernaut, who kind of get. But can I just say the very happy moment here? No Malekith.
Yep. Well, I think Malekith in the hands of Morgan is probably more of a counter pick in that he will want Malekith to deal with other Malekiths.
Yeah, it's the same thing a lot of people did with Thanos. But I'm glad that the 1980s heavy metal sex tiger is not in this game because, like, admittedly, we didn't see the huge amount that we thought we would. But yeah, like
certainly been
a lot of people. Oh yeah, it's been a very big meta change. Though to be honest, my favorite counter for Malekith is Kraven.
Yes, you mentioned that a lot of the.
My Kraven has done so much. Like I think by now, my Kraven has done probably close to like 20 damage to Malekiths over 2 games.
Yeah, and that's of course with the Corner of the Beast. Every time a character moves, they'll take a little chip of damage, which is great. It works on the leadership too. So we're coming down. We're seeing. We've seen.
Well, it's actually neutral to the leadership because they heal one. So yeah.
True, but we've seen now that the deployment we've got Simon's going very central. So I wonder if he has set up Juggernaut to be able to reach that hammer, or if he knows that's a thing. But Rogue now going out on that flank opposite Toad. Morgan has put Juggernaut to go and control that hammer opposite Hood, who's probably in for a bit of a bad day there. And interestingly, Hulk going very wide as well. So that's definitely.
Yeah. So, do you think it's Morgan trying to control that entire flank, considering there's only Rogue over there, like only Rogue? But
well, Morgan has priority. So what he's going to do, I suspect, is he will move up and take that central hammer with Juggernaut, forcing Rogue to come forward onto the right flank, where Hulk can go reach her and throw her to wherever he needs to be if he wants to. So I think there could be a control element there if he wants to isolate and try to take Rogue out of the game early. But he is playing with fire because Hulk is a really friendly bowling ball for a juiced up Rogue. So we will see how that plays out.
Yeah, she can pick up to size 4 for characters, can't she?
Yep, with a bit of southern hospitality.
Yeah.
I'm having a great time. You mentioned you had a 4-pack earlier, Jay, so I should ask you what you're drinking tonight. It's a bit of a tradition with Dr. Norbert, his beverage of choice.
Well, see, usually I'd like say whoever's willing to sponsor me, but I'm not being that cheap this time. So I'm got this new the Brookvale Union vodka lemon squash. So 330ml can, it's 6% alcohol, so 1.6 standard drinks a can, so that's just great. And really low sugar, which is the main thing I'm trying to avoid at the moment.
Fair enough. And we've seen that move as predicted, Juggernaut coming up onto that flank to control it. So you know what's not low sugar? The clean, fresh-tasting flavours of a Pioneer Brewing Company XPA. Not low sugar. Brewed with the hops and barley in, but a very beautiful drop made locally here in Orange in the central west of New South Wales. So this is Juggernaut paying to play to see if he can pick up that objective, and he's rolled the wild, so he gets it.
Awesome. Juggernaut's always a really good holder, especially when he's moved and not attacked for a change. Like he's got a good amount of power there. He spent 2, so he's still got 2 left, is it?
Yes, he has got 2 for next turn. Now, yes, that's true, but the reverse of that is that once you have a hammer on Juggernaut, if you're playing Magneto, he can't be teleported by Asteroid M, and vice versa if Magneto gets one. So,
well, that doesn't really matter for Morgan because he doesn't have a Magneto.
No, but it will for Simon as he starts playing up his moves. And Simon's seen that Hulk play, I think, so he's not been willing to commit just yet to deciding where to go. So he's pulling he's pulling that flank. It looks like he's considering whether he's just going to bring Hood back.
Well, yeah, forcing a major. Well, that being said, like, because it's a pay to flip, he can leave it behind, can't he?
He can, but he needs to look at that. He's thinking about the hammer. He's thinking, how do I get parity on extracts? I think, but he might have to go with Magneto and just see what happens. But I think.
Well, there's always the way to get rid of Juggernaut, and that's roll well. To be honest, I'm really not a fan of Juggernaut at the moment, mainly because he ruined the list that I made. Like, between him and Thanos, it was like, oh... So, the list, for those people who don't know, played around Craven, putting on Corner the Beast, and making people move around.
Yep, so
Juggernaut being able to prevent that, and Thanos having a natural prevention of that, plus Rogue as well, has meant that the list, whilst it was a really cool idea, the meta meant that it didn't go that well when it's both a Thanos-heavy meta and a Brotherhood-heavy meta.
So Simon's very carefully eyeball measured to be in range here, and he is in fact in range with a throw for Magneto into Juggernaut. So he's going to throw, I think, a size 2 just based on his power level. He's got 2 power.
Yep.
I'm trying not to
be able to give a bit out.
Yeah, one of the things that I've probably been bad at lately is I move the camera an awful lot. So I am trying to keep us a fairly stable map, and I'll move in and just zone in.
Tell you what, it's a good thing I'm not holding it. So the reason I go by El Shaco is 2 reasons. One, I love Mexican-based stuff. Mexican culture, Mexican food, Mexican alcohol. And the other reason is because I've got a shaking condition. So the Shaco is the idea I'm going for there. So yeah, I'm glad you're holding the camera and not me, because otherwise people might get a bit seasick watching.
Absolutely. I'm just going to... We've got a few people making some comments. So what we've got here is the block from Juggernaut, and he's blocked 1, so it looks like he'll take 2 unless he wants to pay some power.
Oh, yep. Sorry, I did miss the action.
Did you see what he actually threw, though? What's he gotten rid of?
I did miss that, sorry. Should be a size 2, but I can't see what the size 2 around there was.
I don't know what he's... I've been trying to pull up Malekith or Magneto, the chat there. Make sure I can... But he has got there. So has he taken a second action on Magneto, did we see?
I think he was looking at moving.
Yeah, no, here he is.
Looking at moving at the moment. But the interesting play was that he gave both Rogue and Juggernaut the power from the destroyed piece of terrain.
Yep, so he's probably looking...
Setting up for an Asteroid M play, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I wonder...
My guess here is that he's going to send Hood over to grab the hammer and then fling his own Juggernaut to deal with the other Juggernaut.
Well, I wonder, because there's no obvious Asteroid M at the moment, but I think maybe we're going to see... so Juggernaut has the 2 power at the moment. We might see that he's going to bust through something to get extra power on the table, and then move again and teleport Rogue in. Or maybe not. Maybe not.
No, I think Rogue's going to keep going with the aggression, because that's what... that's Toad. That's just a measurement there.
Yep, so Toad's picked up a hammer.
Yep. So I think Rogue's going to go after Toad. I think, honestly, we're going to see... Because Asteroid M is 2 power each?
It is.
It is. So the other option is Rogue going to move up and launch Juggernaut up that way? Like, is Rogue going to go move, charge... Because her charge is 2 or 3?
2 for her. So
she's going to go move, charge, punch.
Seeing it.
So we're going to see a move. I think we're going to then see a charge into Toad. And then hopefully get enough power to fling a Juggernaut way up the front.
Still, it's quite interesting. He's going down quite significantly in on those hammers. So he's obviously happy to play from underneath. Is he in range?
I'm getting so much sexual innuendo from you saying like, oh, he's going down, he's going to play from underneath. Like, seriously, it just sounds like my weekend.
Yeah, but it didn't cost Simon $300.
It was $250, thank you. And that's because Mum gave me the family discount.
Okay, So this is
Nope, too
attack
far.
with. Oh no, I was just thinking. Rogue has gone big into Toad. 3 crits and a hit. That is a
Oof.
big roll.
Let's see how. Yeah, that. Admittedly, he is getting. Is he getting cover? No,
No,
he's
because
within
he's
2,
within
so it
2
shouldn't.
for her attack. Yes. See,
So
he's gone
yeah,
up
he's
to
only blocking
5.
1. The crits did not confirm. Wait, what's her dice is 6 dice, isn't it? So she hasn't even rolled the crits in.
Yeah, she
Yikes.
has. Yeah, she's rolled him in
Oh, she
now.
has?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, yeah, yeah, so, yeah, so what, that's what, 4 damage to Toad.
Yep.
Big amount of power gain for her.
But Toad is out of there with Slippery.
Because that attack doesn't have a throw as part of it, does it?
No, it doesn't. And he rolled no wilds, but not that it matters anyway for the sap, but it does mean that her Toad is hiding. And now Rogue is tempted out and potentially exposed by Hulk.
I think there's still going to be a Juggernaut flick over to there as an aggressive push forward.
Yep, now has Rogue paid to interact?
Doesn't look like it. Because, yeah, she did, 4 damage then, and she spent 2 for the charge.
Yeah.
So, no, she hasn't paid to interact. Which is intriguing.
She's paid now. I think there was a slight misplay by Simon. I think I probably wouldn't have gone the charge. I think I might have actually been tempted just to go with the mutant absorption.
Move, absorb.
Yeah, I think I just want to have a look here whilst he's picked
I don't know,
up the objective.
Getting the damage, because yeah, it would have taken away power from Toad, so he couldn't have kept running and did a bit of damage.
Toad didn't have any power, and he couldn't use Slippery to get away.
Yeah, I think that would have. Yeah, that is. I think I agree with you that might be a bit of a misplay, but admittedly, it is a bit more dicey.
It is. Here's the Hulk play though. So he's double moved Hulk onto the point, and I presume we're going to see a throw of Rogue somewhere, and then Hulk will take that point back.
Hulk, grab puny Southern Belle and throw her. Do you think he's going to try and... Well, I think he's probably going to throw her into the truck because that way it won't get destroyed and it just moves her away still.
It'll depend what he's trying to do with her. She's now got a bit of a head of power. What did she spend another 2 on? Why is she down to 1 power? Oh, he's indomitable to avoid the throw.
Oh, great move. So it forces a dice roll, which doesn't always work well.
Yep, and 2 successes, and Hulk has grabbed the point back. And
Yikes.
What's he doing now? Simon's measuring out, so I think he's thinking that Hulk is going to go and cop
Avengers Assemble?
No, he's going to Juggernaut.
No. He's pre-measuring for what's potentially going to happen. I was just wondering if it was going to be a Juggernaut hit or a Avengers Assemble play.
I think... Oh, that wasn't Avengers Assemble.
The Gamma Leap.
It was an Avengers Assemble there, I think. Must have been.
That was not expected, but it's kind of... Okay, so he doesn't have that objective, so by doing that it puts pressure on Hood, who I think is going to come across, and it changes the Juggernaut play of being flung downtown. That's a very intriguing play, but I like it.
So that wasn't Avengers Assemble, and if I look at Hulk, he's...
Was it a Gamma Leap?
He couldn't... I'm not sure what that is, to be honest with you. I'm quite confused, because...
He had the power for a Gamma Leap.
He didn't, because he paid 2 for the throw that Rogue indomitabled.
Ah. Has the card been... No, the card hasn't been flipped down.
No. Interesting.
Do you want to ask one of the boys what happened there, or...?
No, that's all right.
We shall see. So, yeah, there's no...
He's picked up the objective. He did put him within 1 there.
Because, yeah, he paid to flip, then spent 2 for the throw.
Unless we've missed
then
something.
Got another move.
Unless we've missed something with Morgs' Juggernaut, maybe he paid the 2 on Magneto, but that wouldn't make sense because Rogue would have had the power. I don't know what's happened there, but something. Minus 1 power to Hulk to 0.
I've just got a message from a fan in inverted commas. I think it's more the fact that he likes me because I'm his whipping boy. From a young Mr. James Brown, who's been, other than you, Theo, has been probably my main practice partner. and he said he's feeling unloved, and it's like, well, that's because at the moment we're talking about winners. These two are at the top of the tables. James, you play me regularly and you win. I know it's great for the ego to get those easy wins, but you're still not a winner on this caliber. So one day when you're good and I might even be mediocre, then I might talk about you, buddy.
So we've seen Jugs pay 1 to pick up the hammer, and then he's moved
Oh,
up, gaining 2 power, but he's left the portal behind, which means I suspect we'll see Hood coming over there.
yeah, we'll definitely see a hood run.
And we're going to see an 8 dice attack, I suspect, into Hulk here.
Yeah. Oh,
No? What are we seeing?
he
We're
went.
seeing he's going to slide. He's going to slide first.
Yep,
So do damage to Hulk.
and then give out some power to his team.
Yep, indeed.
So both Hood and Mags will get the bit of power.
It's interesting the way Simon's very much happy, it seems, to go into a straight fight, Mags versus Jugs on one flank, and then Jugs versus Hulk on the other.
Yeah, it's
That's
both are very
It's brave.
bold and aggressive moves.
Yeah, very brave. So we've got 1 damage on Hulk. He's only got 19 to go, and
Yeah, that's
surely we're seeing an attack here. Yep, handed that his power. One to Magneto, 1 to Rogue, and 1 to Hood. So he's knocked over a size 3, it seems there.
Yeah, it was a truck, I think.
Yep. And here's the attack going in.
Let's see how it goes.
No blocks. And has Jugs gone big? He's gone biggish. He's gone 4 into 0.
Any crits? I'm still waiting for it to come up on my screen.
No crits, but he has got the wild for a push if he wants it. And Jugs powers himself up at the same time. What's that?
Yeah.
I don't know what that re-roll's for. That was 4, 9. Oh yeah, because the hammer. He's remembered the hammer late.
Oh, yep.
He's rolled in and got a skull.
Okay, so, and just looking at Morgan's list, yeah, we're not seeing anything there for any like sneaky sort of stuff, and I don't think, yeah, no, he wasn't even close to having the power to Hulk not puny banner.
Oh, so there we go. He's braced for impact.
Yep. So as to prevent the.
He's done. Do you know who I am? So he's thrown.
Oh, yep.
Yep.
So pretty much a card trade-off. So Hulk will still get thrown, just won't take as much damage.
No, I think he's thrown something at. He's thrown one of the size 4s at Hulk.
Oh, yep. Sorry. Yeah, it was the other truck. I guess that puts out even more power, at least. More energy, sorry. No, I think... Because, yeah, who got power from the slide? The Jugger slide?
He got 3, came out to pretty much everybody.
Excuse
me.
Through
everyone.
Okay. So... Who's that moving up there? That's Black Widow, isn't it?
Black Widow, yep. So she went and picked up, I think, the hammer. Oh no, she's had a roll, sorry, of the point, and grabbed the inheritor portal.
Well, not even a roll for it.
No, she did. She got a hit and a wild. She got 2 successes.
Oh, sorry, I got it confused for the one where you Yeah, sorry, I got it confused for, I think it's Research Station. Sorry. I'm still learning this game too, everyone.
And then Hood, as expected, is going to pick up the other one. So at the moment, I think we're seeing quite a strong points lead for Morgan. It'll be 6 plays at the moment, just 2.
Yeah, which is pretty huge.
Yeah, it's
the most interesting part I also find is that when it comes to aggression factor, Morgan has taken more damage, but those characters that did, so Hulk, who can generally survive a lot of stuff because he's the Hulk, and Toad has ran away pretty hard and is going to force Rogue to play chase.
Oh no, and that's a poor roll there for Hood. He's rolled no successes and he's got the fail to teleport away. So that's really not great for Simon. He's going to go down to have just the single point, it looks like.
Oh, yuck. That's because that's what 4-1. No, sorry.
6-1 it'll
Oh,
be.
6-1. Yikes! That's
Sam.
provided this dice roll is bad.
No. So Sam, there's no dice roll. Sam just picks up the hammer.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, because Widow got it on the way through.
Widow did get on the way
Sorry,
through.
everyone.
And now Sam's taking position to start throwing shields and hopefully pushing or sucking power out of Magneto.
Mags can stop himself from getting pushed, can't he, through his refraction? So
he can.
That might not be the case by moving over there.
He can. It's interesting if you look at the board state from Simon's perspective for a second. We've got the fight here with Hulk and Jugs that we think he's quite happy to have. We've got Jugs and Magneto, which he's set up. But we've got Rogue able to put pressure on Toad, and I think Simon will have priority, but the choices that he has available to him, if he doesn't take out Toad early, Toad will run off with that point and be quite happy.
I've done that before with Rogue, with Toad. I love doing Toad plays on Legacy Virus is so much fun. I love it.
But mathematically as well, remember that Toad ran away M, which means the right Rogue move should put her within 2. So it's quite possible that she can move up and hit Toad, or charge up and hit Toad. But the issue is she won't have enough power then to be Asteroid M'd back into the fight. She'll only get the 1 plus any wilds that she rolls. And then she wouldn't be able to teleport back in if she gets the hammer as well. So a bit of a trouble over there. And then Morgan is setting up to push Magneto all over the place, and he's still got "Do you know who I am" up his sleeve. So I think it's danger for Simon already. I think
with the Rogue v Toad set up on the right flank, left flank, depends on your angle. Do you think he's going to go for a charge and then have the extra movement up the sleeve, or do you think Rogue's just going to go move and punch just to save a bit of power?
Look, it probably has to be potentially a charge and then a move back to pick the portal up.
Yeah, that was my thought as well.
Admittedly,
though, Brotherhood doesn't exactly struggle to get power though. So
yeah, but he will need a wild in there. Oh no, he'll go up to. Has he gone up to 2 yet? He's still got a power phase up his sleeve, so he will have enough power to get back and grab the portal, unless he grabs the portal first.
Okay.
But either way, it's going to be very hard to track down Sam. He's off and away with a hammer, and then probably the control that he's got there on Magneto is going to make life difficult too.
It's looking like a good game, but that bad dice roll on that portal has really negatively impacted Simon. Like,
it has,
I'm not going to say it's over because it's never over, but
he's going to need to do some very strong attrition into, I think, Juggernaut.
He's needing like 2 dazes and getting some objectives to start to catch up.
Yeah, I think scoring 6 in the first turn really puts it in race territory for Morgan. He can race away with it. So he may not need to do his rotation around control with his 2 big boppers. He may be able to run. But so what he's done, -2 on Magneto, -2 on Rogue. So he is Asteroid Emming.
Yep.
Okay, and we've seen Magneto coming off onto Hulk's side of the table. Interesting choice.
Yeah. Heavier flank, and Juggernaut would have to spend quite a bit of power to get across. Not that that's a huge issue for Juggernaut, but
no, I think D shapes though are very hard for Magneto generally. I think once that asteroid M's off on the table, this is where Magneto is going to spend the rest of the game.
That being said, one thing that's really quite interesting is the placement of the constructs. It's almost set up to try and force, because Juggernaut on his slide, he stops when he hits terrain?
No, he'll slide through it, but he'll then start giving out power to the Brotherhood team.
Yeah, and I think that's what Simon's set up there to try and force, let's put a couple of things in the way to force if Juggernaut wants to start to move towards.
We're going to attack coming in.
Oh, okay.
So this
But yeah.
is. It looks like this is Magneto into Hulk. So he's emmed. He's asteroid
Oh,
emmed and thrown.
he's rolled pretty well too.
He has and no
And
blocks.
Hulk has rolled badly. Let's see how has the crit been rolled in? It's about to get rolled in.
Yep. So he's re-rolling the blank
And do
dice.
another success, and only
Yep.
Magneto only getting one dice to reroll. What a shame.
Yeah, two skulls. He'd be disappointed, but that's 5 through. That's a good start. And I think we. Oh, he's
Mm.
paid for the re-roll on Hulk. Why not? He's got 1 block, so 4 goes through.
And Mags is getting pretty power heavy at the moment, which is
Yep, he's still got another
pretty good
attack
time
as
for
well.
Mags. Yeah. Do you think we're going to see a fling first, a throw of something first, or straight into just more
Well,
dice rolls?
oops, sorry. He's well set up with Mags because he's got the size 4 and the size 2 to throw.
There we go. We just saw the size 4 get disappeared,
Yep.
and a lot of power dumped on other characters.
He's done this to give himself enough power so that he can then pick up the crate as well and build
He's
up
still
some
got
power
another
for his
attack
next
anyway to
swing.
try and
Yeah.
get some, but yeah, he's...
Oh, so blocking 4. So he's
Oh,
at the
good
1
roll.
damage. Very nice.
I did not see the attack roll. He clears his dice pretty quick. So.
No, that was the size 4 piece of terrain.
Oh, yep. Sorry, that was the terrain. So yeah, wow. Good roll.
And the next attack, we've got a skull and only 2 successes, no crits.
He does get to reroll 3 of them though.
Yep.
We've got only a single crit from Morgan, but Hulk not puny banner is still always a handy thing to have.
Yep, and we've only rerolled 1 extra hit, so 3 going through.
Oof, that was a bit underwhelming. But is Morgan going for the reroll, or no? He's taking the hit. Can you use Hulk not puny banner?
He's rerolled.
He is going for the reroll,
and he's rerolled into 3
everything.
blocks.
Oh, big hit, big block.
Yep. So the rolls there, magnetic refraction out. The rolls there, with the size 4 and then a good Hulk not puny banner has helped there, but Hulk still 4 power, 10 damage. Not looking ideal for him. We'll see. Will he go with Hulk now?
Well, how much damage has Hulk taken, did you say? It's
10.
10? Okay, well, he hasn't hit the sweet spot of 12 where he's getting the 3 extra attacks, but yeah.
No, the interesting board state question, though, is that Rogue has just quietly, from that terrain piece, jumped back up to 2 power. So she is still threatening Toad. And and you've got Jugs there still threatening to do a little bit more damage to Hulk, but the medium measure has come out, which says to me that he's looking to throw with Hulk. So he's going to go with Hulk.
Yeah.
I think that's the right move.
Let's see what happens. So Jugs is getting moved away, which... Because what's the range? It's a long throw, is it, for Hulk?
No, Hulk throws medium, which is still pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, it's still great. Like,
it's an amazing throw. And this is classic Morgan. He'll use Hulk almost like a pseudo control piece. And you remember I said at the start of the game as well about the rotation. So Hulk's taken a pasting. He knows that Magneto can't keep up with him. So Hulk has now pulled back, and he's still got Do You Know Who I Am up his sleeve and a significant points lead.
Yeah, just securing that flank. And now if we look at it, like, admittedly, I can imagine Rogue pushing in.
Yeah. Rogue can absolutely...
But the thing is, even if she... But if she also turns around and just wrecks, what's his name, Toad, it's like, okay, she then has to then pull back in a lot. Like, she's got the speed and the aggression just because of a charge.
Well, I think the issue is, for Simon at the moment, is even if Rogue charges Toad, grabs the hammer, gets back and caps the point, which is a perfect activation in terms of achieving things, then
Magneto didn't try to flip the point?
He didn't. He played magnetic refraction instead. But if Rogue does
he still has 1 power unless something got destroyed since.
Not sure. But if he does that, he still only goes 4/4, assuming Hood gets his point.
And when there's a 5-point difference,
he's not picking up enough to be able to do it. So
And plus, dazing Toad means a bit of free movement for a lot of his other characters, for a lot of Morgan's characters.
well, a free movement, but yeah, it just means he's not claw. I mean, he can't claw back those points, and Juggernaut's so
Mm.
far back out of the game.
Oh, here we go. Here we got the dice.
Yep, this is the
So,
attack from Rogue.
oh, Simon's is not great. It's only a single crit,
It's
though.
got him though.
Toad has not defended, so...
But that one power means he just doesn't have enough to cap the point. But that's okay. Rogue will happily pick up that.
Yeah, of course.
And probably move infield.
Yeah, keep her aggressive, because she's her and Juggernaut are the two fast aggressive pieces. I say Juggernaut's fast because of base size and his ability to slide. But yeah, it is very intriguing.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be really hard for Simon to get those points back at the moment.
Yeah. Admittedly, though, like he's still making the cutoff. So it's not like a do or die sort of one like your game's going to be.
Yes, well, I mean, I've played a couple of games now into Magneto, and it looks like I've got him again, so that'll be challenging. But we'll deal with that when it comes up. At the moment, that's scheduled for Thursday night, and I'm going to be recording it to put up sometime post game once I'm out of the cut.
Oh, please! You've made the cut what, twice now?
Yeah, look, I'm a bit under a bit of pressure. I only make it in odd numbered seasons. I made it in 4 and made it in 6. So you know, I've got a record to achieve here, but yeah, it is what it is.
You made the cut last season, didn't you?
No, I lost to Morgan in the final round.
Oh, really? Ouch.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
Morgan actually had losses. Does he know what that's like?
No, he came second in the pool last year. I know this just for the people watching at home. That was a shield throw from Sam into Rogue, attempting to push her off that car.
Mm-hmm.
And he's blocked 2, plus he won't get cover, so that will be 2 damage. It goes down to 1 because Rogue
good
is
roll
Rogue.
for the. How many dice is it usually for a shield throw?
It's normally 4, and he's rolled 5.
Okay, it's 5 for the thing. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was 5 or 4. Like, yeah, I've only played against Sam a couple of times. Like, I didn't play against him when Sam spam was huge in the meta.
I thoroughly enjoyed Sam in Steve's leadership last year. Found him to be a really strong piece to use as a mobile target for Iron Man's Ricochet Blast, as well as for the ability to pay 1 power and charge with a Ricochet and a push when he does damage. He was just a really good little utility piece for me.
Okay, we're seeing the hood move, which was pretty predictable considering,
Yeah, not a lot
the
else
positioning of it.
The question is, will he go up and have a bit of a chip at Juggernaut?
What's Hood's energy stat? Is it 3 or 2?
2.
Oof. It's interesting playing Hood in this list. Like, I think, like, the healing is always valuable, don't get me wrong. But looking at the list, like, Morgan has not done much damage.
No, well, Morgan's not playing for damage. He's completely into control. He'll do the damage with Hulk if he needs to, but he's not.
And Jugs, like he's got some damage dealers. Just he's gone more for the board control.
He has, and he always does. So this is
a
pay to
flip,
win games. And Hood has finally got it.
Awesome.
But yeah, you do wonder if maybe a Darkstar or a Quicksilver or a Mystique might be better. He did get a Skull as well, did he?
Looks like it. I can't tell because Simon keeps clearing his thing straight away.
Okay.
So
I've got it in the corner there. He has got a fail there, so he's got a Wild and a Skull. So that's the teleport back, and Hood is feeling very sorry for himself.
He can sit in the corner and have a good long hard look at himself.
Yes. It's amazing. Morgan plays this game so well that you do learn a lot about yourself as a player. You very rarely blame dice for being beaten by Morgan. You do learn a lot about the game though.
Yeah, and the best players bring that out in you.
So Black Widow going to have a cheeky pinch of that objective. And this is a risk-free move for Morgan because Jugs might get over there and take it back, but Widow's not carrying an objective. It really doesn't matter. So
pretty much just to force the information so he can know. Well, no, he's already activated Jugs, hasn't he? Or did he use? Oh no, he used. No, he got the move off the Toad days.
Correct.
Yep. By the way, quick question: is anyone other than me a bit disappointed that Malekith's leadership is just kind of a slight change from Sam's? Like it's, I don't know, it's just kind of lackluster.
Oh, it's
Like
so
I'm not
good.
lackluster in creativity is what I mean. Like it's kind of like, oh, okay, that's
Perhaps,
definitely a thing.
yeah, perhaps the design space is an area they were just trying to explore the reverse of it. Like, how does it work offensively?
Well, see, I'd like to see like a true reverse of it, where like, okay, you daze someone, you get some different things. Like you can push someone, do like 1 damage to them, and drain them 1 power. Like make it a complete opposite.
It's they've got an attack here coming, which is Juggernaut into Black Widow.
Yep,
So it should be an 9 dice, is it? Or does Juggernaut have it? Yeah, 9 dice swing.
9 dice versus what, 3 including blanks.
Yeah, so
Whoa, it's a big swing from Jugs. 2
big
hits,
enough.
2 crits, and 2 wilds.
With
And what,
nothing.
3 blocks from Black Widow though, so she's only taking 3 at the moment, and the conversion didn't work. Wow.
No, well, she's
So
going to
Black
be.
Widow's,
No, she'll be dazed because he can just slide into her and bump.
yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
she's already taken 1 from the bump, sorry, so she'll just daze.
Oh, yep.
Yep.
But oh, because did she steal the objective off?
She stole the inheritor portal, so he'll need to pay 1 to play there.
Hmm.
So, getting back to your point on leaderships, there was an interesting phase. This is the role for the portal.
Yep.
Oh, and Jugs has missed it and rolled a fail. So he goes back where he comes from.
Jeez, that's heartbreaking.
So your comment about leaderships. So there was a real phase where they went in a design space. They went into the space of doing the rerolls. So you had what's his name, Miles, come out with the defensive reroll. You had it's disappointingly Cable with his offensive one. You had Black Panther.
Yeah.
There was a whole series of.
We even had Shadowlands Daredevil, who I don't know where the design period happened amongst all that, but yeah, rerolls there. Fury gives out rerolls even if he's not like just to his minions, but yeah, like there's.
Yeah, there was a design space around movement as well, where there was the Storm Bump, there was the Midnight Suns leadership. There's been obviously Sam and Malekith doing their thing. Morgan playing conservatively here, building up some power, and Juggernaut pulling him back, and just not surprised to see him shielding Hulk. But yeah, so there was been a design space around movement, a design space around rerolls. What we haven't seen really since Sam and probably Black Bolt and Red Skull has been much in the design space around power, and I'd be very interesting to see if there's some more power-based mechanics.
There's mags for power-based mechanics.
True, and I guess at the same sort of time with She-Hulk coming out for A-Force, wasn't there?
She-Hulk as well. There's trying to think who else. It's going through leaderships in my head at the moment.
Okay, so just
interesting because there's
tidying up at the end of the turn. So Morgan's up to 12 now, and Simon only on 3. So it's going to be very hard to even force this to a 4th round, I think, for Simon at this point.
Yeah, like, to be honest, the fails on that Inheritor portal have been just brutal for Simon.
Yeah, look, it makes you feel bad, but I don't actually think it's been a massive swing in the game. I think Morgan's just... I think one of the issues Simon had was trying to pick up that second hammer with the setup that Morgan had. To
be honest though, if that portal had been successfully flipped for the 2 times, there was the one where Hood got sent away and it wasn't flipped, and then there was the second time where it was a fail and Jugs got pushed. That would have effectively made it a 5-10 difference.
5-11, because I don't think Morgan controlled that defensive one in turn 1 when Hood failed. So it would have been...
He didn't know, but he would... Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah, so yeah, it wouldn't have been -2. But 5-11, that's a lot more, like, still crazy to try and come back from. Like, yeah, like, Simon is literally pushing shit uphill right now.
Yeah, the control aspect of on I think where Magneto is, where Rogue was really bullied out of picking up that hammer early, and then thrown off the
Yeah.
objective, and had Hulk just take it back from her. That I think combination really also swung the game against Simon. So he's
Yeah.
moved up, and he's going to try to remove Widow from the table, I think.
Another big issue as well, like looking at Simon's team tactics cards, is they're all about defense against damage. And
Yeah.
really, only one character's taken any damage.
Well, Indomitable prevents the move, but yes.
Yeah, Indomitable's the only one that's really not like Magnetic Refraction did effectively nothing this turn. I mean, you get reuse out of it; it's great. But
Okay,
do you know who I
so
am? Is the only aggressive one, and that was taken out. Asteroid M he used aggressively and
okay,
patch
so
up like
we,
it's.
whilst we were talking, we just had Widow go down. So that was Juggernaut slid into her, and then he's dealt a 5 damage attack into just the one block. I don't even know if he slid into her. I think he just walked up and hit her.
Was that the complete daze?
That was
Like the complete knockout, yeah.
top of the turn to
Complete
knock her
removal.
out. Yep, and we're seeing Sam move. Unfortunately, I mean Jugs will pick up this portal, but the hammers are nowhere near there. So it's a futile KO, but it is look, it's nice to take a piece off the game.
Yeah, you get cranky and you take it out on whatever person you can, and like
vulnerable little widow there.
Yeah, well, she was kind of. I think she was almost put up as bait, to be honest.
Well, it was a risk-free extra point for Morgan, and it does mean that it's that much harder for him this turn. So he's grabbed the portal, which is good, add a bit more respectability to the scoreline. But it'll be really a case of I can't see where he has the pieces to be able to affect the scorecard sufficiently.
Yeah, it's not going well for Simon, sadly.
Morgan, yep. So Morgan's throwing a shield into Rogue. He'll try to push her away. All he needs is that damage through to do it. So he's rolled 2 wilds. He'll get the ricochet for what it's worth, but no damage through at the moment. So.
We were talking about leaderships before, and talking about
going again with Sam.
Cable's lackluster one.
Just
I've told
damage.
you my thought. Oh, sorry.
2 damage, but I think Rogue will take the damage because she doesn't get cover against Sam, and she'll get the push away. Now that's crucial. That's possibly the last chance that Rogue might have had to do much about getting this game to a next turn, because we know that Morgan needs 4 points. I think it's safe to say the defensive D is the only one that was really in play for Rogue, and I think now it might be a bridge too far for her to get there.
Because she can get a little bit of power through Mags throwing something, but yeah, like she won't be able to be super aggressive.
Well, she's going to be throwing her attack into a 5 dice defense, and she needs to daze him in a single hit, just to increase her chances of the portal. And there's still Hulk and Jugs up the sleeve. So
it almost seems like Simon has been playing like almost 3 points down, just because Hood has done jack all really. Like he's failed to grab portals, got pushed away by them, and because it's a non-aggressive game, his ability to heal has done nothing for him.
Yes. Well, look, I think.
Excuse me.
If you think of the objective as being sort of 8 points on the table, so a 4-4 split is what you're expecting. For Morgan to go up 6-2, and that's, one of those points was probably the one that's Toadstyle. The other one was the Inheritor portal at the back that Hood failed to get. But those 2 points, 2 points per turn, has just blown it out. I mean, even if you had an extra point for Simon and 12-4, it's still pretty hard. So yeah, I think I mean, it's not about Hood not necessarily doing anything. It's just been a case of that not being able to get safely that centre line objective, which is, if I wanted to talk to my own position a little bit, that's exactly why he should have had Storm, because with Storm that becomes a very different proposition.
I'm wondering, like, looking at the list, like, personally, and this is just because I just love using him as a character, taking Hood out and using Quicksilver.
Oh, for sure.
The ability to steal a hammer is huge, and Quicksilver on hammers just goes nuts just because he can hit so hard, and more dice into his attacks means more punches into the opponent.
Yes, and I think Simon probably, looking at a lot of his matchups, he's had people who have probably played into traditional attrition-based
Mm,
Marvel, and Morgan's been the first one who's really said, you know what, I'm not going to fight necessarily. I'm going to go and look at controlling this game and just playing those points. And I think
yeah,
Simon will take a lot away from this. I'm not trying to be defeatist, but I am on the opinion that this is probably looking a bit far gone for Simon.
yeah. Like unless, like, cause what he's got to try and get 6 points out of it. So
Well,
who's
he's going in
currently?
for Juggernaut. So
Hmm,
he's realizing he can't throw anything at Sam there, but he doesn't need to worry about Toad too much. It's going to be he has to take
yeah.
a hammer holder, which is Sam and Jugs, and really Jugs is the only option.
Plus using the and by going with the mag going Mags as builder, he can also pull Jugs in, hopefully, for his own Jugs to get a bit closer and get a bit more oomph into him.
Or well, his Jugs is gone if you remember, but well, look,
Oh, he has too.
Widow is an option, but of course Morgan's Juggernaut can simply just
Widow
move
or
away.
oh yeah, absolutely. Widow's dead.
Hood, sorry, I was meaning you can
Yeah,
pull him into Hood, but
though
it's
Hood's not that great against Jugs anyway, just because he's rapid fire attacks Mystic, isn't it?
yeah, but he could put Rogue in position, but this is I think just an attack. It's only the one block into two successes, so a little bit feather dusters at 10 paces. He should just
Yeah,
nice
it's
punch that, I presume. He's going to pull him closer to Rogue,
yeah.
but I think we'll just see that. It doesn't really matter. Juggernaut's not going to care either way about what Rogue's going to
Mm.
do. If Rogue can charge and get him, I think Morgan will probably activate Juggernaut and move him safe to safety, because you don't want to see Rogue charge Juggernaut and then Southern Hospitality throw him into Sam and daze him. It's a wild play, but it could be an option, so he'll probably move him to safety just to be conservative. Size 3, I think it was, going in at Jugs, and he's blocked 2 with a crit. 3. Just size 3 or 4, one of the two. See how much damage he takes.
And even then, can nice punch it, even if it was.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I
Okay.
actually really dislike the fact that there's things that cap it, like that don't get capped for damage prevention.
Yep. So Toad is just going into a Rogue with a Tongue Lash. Oh, 3 hits, nice. Why not?
Yeah, beautiful. Not what Rogue wants to see, but
Oh,
oh, three
Rogue smashed
crits.
it. Bang, no problems. And then Toad's gonna hop and move, is he? And then go and steal that point back just to. And now it
Mm.
probably won't even matter if he does get Juggernaut.
Yeah, redundancy in points makes a difference. But to be honest, Simon should still be incredibly proud of his effort. Like going 5-1 in his first season.
And he'll make the cut, and I can tell you he will learn
Mm.
from this, and he'll go into those that
Mm.
play-in game with a far better knowledge of what's going on.
Yeah.
And you can't learn better than playing Morgan. Just ask Reith.
Oh yeah. Oh, just ask me. I learnt so much from my game, and that's not to get not to
Okay.
see red and go for the aggression. Um,
Well, Philly is Morgan's regular opponent, and you've seen him come up to the
yeah.
point where I think in the last 2 seasons he's played 11 games. The only one he's lost was when he was on a boat and had to concede. His Swiss games, he's been a force.
I was going to say wrong Disney-owned property.
No, he's more the Justin Timberlake. I'm on a boat, I'm pretty sure.
That's not Justin Timberlake. That's The Lonely Island. Wrong song.
Oh, I thought he was in that. Sorry. It's still an awesome song.
No, he's in Dick in a Box and Mother Lover.
Cool. All right. So as suggested, he's going in. Morgan's thinking about whether he will just escort Jugs to safety. Interesting little note here is that if he escorts Juggernaut to safety, he'll refund the action. So Rogue will have effectively paid 2 for a free move. Probably won't make much
Oh, really? It
difference.
refunds the entire action.
Yeah, so if the escort to safety brings you out of range of the attack, you get another action. And even if you spent your action doing a two-parter, like a charge,
Ooh.
you've done the move first before the action got refunded, so the action gets refunded.
And the charges too. So would she be able to charge again?
No, because the charge is once per turn.
Ah, I was just wondering if part of the refund would actually like mitigate that
I
once
reckon
per turn.
surely Malekith
Because
is
that would
able
be.
to do multiple charges, right? Surely he's got everything else.
Hey, he hasn't got damage prevention, and he
Unless she
doesn't.
rolls skulls.
Well, that's not damage prevention. That's just crits.
Stupid damage percentage. Okay, so
And then there's Domino laughing at him, and then realizing no, this is still going to kill me when he punches me.
So I don't know what's going on here, but they're just having a chat. Well, at the end of the game, guys, we will jump into their channel and have a yarn and see what they're thinking about this. It probably will be over in a couple of activations from here. Simon hasn't ticked Magneto, but we do know that he has used mags.
Yep. Yeah, so it's looking pretty rough here. Here we've got Rogue moving. Oh, so yeah. Surprised he's not going for a more direct angle. Is it in range?
No, he can't. He can't get into a position where he can then attack. So what he's doing is he's going to move first, and then he'll do the charge. And
Yeah.
that will mean that when the escort to safety happens, he can get the action refunded and hit someone else instead. Whereas now, the refunded action is effectively wasted. So he can... Yeah, I suspect is what's happening there. He'll charge... He may well charge to be in front of Sam. He'll escort to safety Sam, but maybe not be able to get him out, depending on who's doing the escorting and the angles and blah blah blah. So there is a world, I think, in which he can probably get some stuff on Sam, but no, he can't quite get there. But I think it's still a fairly moot point. He needs to find a way to daze a piece and capture that back inheritor portal without it being taken back by Hulk.
Even then, there's what 1, 2, 3. Oh no, sorry. So he needs to probably daze Sam and take that portal.
Yeah, and not have it taken back by Hulk, just to keep the game alive.
Yeah. And even then, Juggernaut hasn't even activated yet over there either, has he?
No, so that would make it a 5-3 round, which would make it 15-8, and he'd need to go 8-0. Yep. So he's escorting to safety with Hulk to pull Sam out, which will pull him off the point, and then Sam will giggity, and then Rogue will be seeing if she can just do the safe option. Yep. And then Rogue will see if she can one-shot a healthy Juggernaut. So she's going to need roughly 6 crits.
Now, that being said, she's got enough little... Because how much power has she got at the moment, too? How much is a spender? Not enough at the moment, is it?
Yeah. So
I wonder if she'll do on a throw won't get her enough. She'd need someone else to do a throw at this point. And, yeah. So
look, her only option is to hit. I don't think there's any point energy draining. She needs to hit and do enough that she can then throw a car.
And then energy drain after that if she's lucky.
There's no point because he'll have more than 5 power. He's already got 5 power on Jugs.
Energy drain. What? How much is it for energy drain? 2 or 3?
2, but you roll 5 dice, so even 5 successes doesn't do anything.
I was just thinking, just get rid of some of it.
And 3 blocks is not what you wanted, so that's a 0 damage, and that is absolutely it.
And the wild doesn't do a throw or anything, does it?
Oh, it does. It saps a power. She saps 2 power off him, so she can throw something, but there's no way she can do sufficient damage at this point.
Yeah, she's
So he's paid 2.
It was already
she's
pretty
paid
hard.
2. She's going to drain power off him. I think no. What was that? A throw? Oh no.
It was a 1 for a change. Yep. So
she took the point. But the table state at the moment is I do not think mathematically there's anything that can be done. He's got. Do you know who I am? So Juggernaut's now a bit short of power, but he can still throw Rogue away, move to gain 2 power, and play on that point. And if
Yeah,
he does that, there's nothing that can be done. And he's still got
at the
Hulk.
moment, it's just at the moment for Morgan, it's like, okay, how many points can I get out of this?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And he's also still got Hulk up his sleeve, and Hulk can quite easily just wander up and have a roll on a point.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. There's 2
He's
points
just
that aren't controlled by him.
thrown a car at Juggernaut for good measure.
Who has? Sorry.
Rogue, just to spend her power.
Okay.
But it's an absolutely moot point at this stage.
Ooh.
And this is why Hulk and Juggernaut is such a magnificent combination. There's just nothing that can be done here. So Hulk's going to move up. He'll then be able to have an attack at Rogue to try to push her off and cap it himself. And Juggernaut has all the power in the world to move, throw someone off, and cap the point. So he's got the wilds. That's a push on Rogue. Doesn't actually matter what happens damage-wise at this point.
Wow, it's Morgan's roll is pretty solid.
Yep, but it's irrelevant because he's going to be able to push her, and that means it's still a straight.
Oh yeah, like it was always pretty.
Oh, he hasn't pushed, is he? Surely he's going to push.
Yeah, is that the push happening now, or is he setting up for the throw so he can try and get more points out of Rogue?
I think that's the push because he hasn't paid for. Or maybe he has. No, he's done a throw there. Okay. And then he's paid 1 to interact with it. So the push is before damage is dealt.
So he didn't push. He decided to throw. Get the damage to try and drop.
Well, it's dazed her, so she's dropped the hammer.
Yep. So he's just going for more points, and he's still got 1 to do the thing.
Oh, cheeky boy! So what he's done is he's he's picked up the hammer and he's now paid to play on the point. He scored it and Hulk will teleport, but that's yeah, it's irrelevant anyway. I think he's probably seen 1 damage on Rogue and just thrown him into something just to do it. But yeah, so Simon's probably not come across someone who's just purely controlling the game, and he'll learn a lot from that. I certainly remember I played Morgan a couple of times, and certainly probably 2 of those I recall very well, and that is the first one was playing. I played MODOK, Enchantress, Enchantress, Thor, and someone else, maybe Angela, into him. It was a 5-threat anyway. I flexed into that from what I was playing, which is Web Warriors, and I made a crucial mistake with Enchantress by just not measuring and lost her early, and it was game. But I learned 2 things in there. First of all, I learned to pre-measure with Enchantress, and I also learned that when you throw someone, you throw them through yourself, because I could have won that game even from there with a this is Juggernaut into Juggernaut. I could have won that even then with a throw from Thor of MODOK into possibly Magneto.
So here's the main thing though. Simon versus Morgan. Who do you think has the better jugs?
Oh, well. Look, I honestly couldn't tell you. I haven't seen Simon in the flesh for a number of years, but he does wear a kilt more often than Morgan, I think. So that's probably, I'd have to say, if you're going to wear a dress, you've got to be having the jugs and the legs to carry it off. So I'm going to go with Simon, the better jugs.
Well, everyone, comment if you believe who you think has the better jugs of the 2.
They're both actually quite athletic builds. I don't know if you know this about them, but Morgan obviously does a bit of PT.
No,
Look, if you ever played Warhammer, there was an old guy, I can't remember his name, but he used to put a leg up on the table. He'd wear shorts, and he'd put a leg up on the chair or the table as he was playing Warhammer. And I could see Morgan throwing a leg up in a pair of maybe khaki sort of safari shorts. So he has the physique for that. He's quite a slender fellow, and Simon's always been quite healthy. He's a doctor, so he knows all about making sure he's in good shape. Look, they're scoring this up, so we might jump across into their channel and touch base with them. I'll just
Sounds like a
minimize
plan.
this and I'll pick up Discord. Just minimize. Hang on.
Should get a little technical difficulty sign to put up here.
It's a bit like that, isn't it? I'm actually just trying to see where the Discord. Oh, here we go. That's the one. Okay, we'll jump across and have a yarn with them.
Okay.
So I thought I had Hulk that turn when he was over here. Like, if I get him, maybe it's a little bit different, but it's not going to be too much different.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Yo.
Hey, good mate. Yeah, I don't think it'd be unreasonable for you to get Hulk there, to be honest. 50. I mean, it's you have to roll pretty well, but it wouldn't be unreasonable, I think.
Well, when I can throw a size 4 and a size 3 at him, plus 2 builders with full rerolls, like, I kind of... Like, 15's a lot to ask, granted, but... doing 5 instead was shit.
Yeah, yeah. I was concerned for Hulk's welfare then. I had to do a bit
Sure you were.
All right, Theo, fire away, mate. What do you got for Simon?
Hey, it's not just Theo, it's me too.
Sorry, mate.
Hi, other person who I've never met.
I only saw Theo's thing on the screen, so my
in the room.
He jumped in a bit late.
Yeah, sorry, Theo didn't tell me the instructions. I asked him, "Oh, you're bringing me along as well?" And then he didn't tell me anything. So yeah, sorry about that. Sorry for the random, excited jump in.
No, mate, it's fine. The more the merrier. More advertising this game we can do, the better.
And sorry, who are you?
Yeah, that's what my parents say to me frequently. No, I'm El Shaco, or also known as Jay. I'm a gamer as well. I don't do as well as you guys, but I come up with interesting lists and make things fun.
So,
I mean, you do have Ant-Man as your display picture, don't you? So you're obviously
me. No, that's a picture of me.
That's a picture of you. I've only got this little circle in the top left corner of my screen.
No, it's me when I had longer hair, it all pushed over my face, and then my glasses over the top, going for a Cousin It look.
Actually, no, I've looked at it now in detail. Yeah, okay.
It's disturbing, isn't it? So, Simon, look, it didn't go your way today.
It definitely did not, Theo. That's an astute observation.
Talk me
17 to 4?
I felt that you had a bit of an old shit moment in the first turn that left you not sure about grabbing one of those centre hammers. I'm wondering if you could talk me through your deployment, and did you have an old shit moment and what happened there?
So, I was obviously concerned about what was going to happen to Rogue if I put her out there before Hulk, but then I did it anyway. So I probably should have just led with that. I don't know. Again, I haven't played these Inheritor Portals ever, so it's the first time playing it. And the skulls just absolutely... Well, and the missed successes, like on my back portal on my turn, and then
it was ridiculous. Like, I was watching and I was just like, no, stop. Bad portals. Like, it was just...
That's RNG, isn't it?
You
That's
have this.
RNG.
It's a love-hate relationship with spider portals. They're one of the most punishing pay to flips when they go against you. So yeah, you did get a little bit of that sort of stage fright about what would happen to Rogue out there, and I thought Morgan put you in a really unpleasant situation with Jugs on one flank and Hulk on the other. So whichever way you went, you were going to go for a bit of a ride, I thought.
Yeah, and then Jugs didn't really know what to do. It's too wide for my roster for 4 characters with the lack of mobility. Like, Jugs has mobility, obviously, but compared to Sam Avengers with Hulk and Juggernaut that just slide in place around the board, and Toad who places as well, like, yeah, there's not...
On top of that, the fact you were also playing, like, your list was very much a beat face list. It meant that with him going wide, he also had that maneuverability against you as well within that wideness, just because of Sam's leadership. Like, he could just dance around you effectively every time someone got punched.
Well, and that's exactly what he did, right? Like, even Hulk danced. So
Hulk does love
until
to
the
dance.
one time he had to smash, and then he's
Hulk
properly smashed
Tango.
through.
So one of the things I said was that I thought maybe previously for the season, a lot of your games had been more sort of in the have a fight, the choosing violence way of playing Marvel Crisis Protocol. And wondering, I guess, you learn this game really well playing Morgan. and just maybe you talk us through some of the things you might be taking away from this game if you don't want to spoil your run in the cut, about what you might have learned, because I learned so much of this from playing Morgan.
My run in the cut, I feel like, is going to be turned like round one out, so that's fine, unless I get double C's. So look, it's just this scenario combination wasn't great for me, and it was good for him. I've only played Magneto as the leader. I probably could benefit from playing Mystique as the leader and trying to play some wide lists, but I just haven't played any. Like, I've still played less than 20 games of Crisis Protocol, so
Yeah. Are you
as I
enjoying
said,
it?
yeah, it's great.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Like, I've had success at multiple game systems in the past, and
Yeah.
this is, like,
Theo was singing
really
your praises
competitive.
before, like your success with Warmer Hordes and stuff like that. So yeah, Theo gave a little bit of a history of you, because I didn't really know who you were, and yeah, he was praising you, talking about the length of your penis, all that jazz. Like he was very into you.
Oh, it's pretty big, I'll tell you that much. We won't reveal how much on a family show, but yeah, I've got 3 kids, so you know, it works. Yeah, it's coming to Marvel it's interesting. So the closest game to this that I've played has been Guild Ball, which I hated the soccer aspect of it so much, and so this is basically Guild Ball without the soccer. So I love it.
We might talk about that another day, because I loved the soccer part of Guild Ball, but we might talk about that another day. More, I'll also say as well, Simon, fantastic run to go 5-1 in your first season, to make the cut in your first season. It takes, I'm going to go on a limb and say, a magnificent person to make the cut in your first season. I mean, Morgan's done it. You've done it now. Jay hasn't done it. I've done it.
No.
75% of the people in chat have done it.
I'm the shit one. I'm not denying it.
Just fully, just magnificent effort, mate, to make the cut in your first run, and well done on a really good run through the Swiss. Morgs, do you want to talk us through anything about your approach to the game? Did Simon pick the roster or the squad that you're expecting, and how did the game unfold from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'll echo your comments for Simon. I think it's a terrific effort for he and his. I think there's a couple of players. Simon, is it correct? Is it yourself, Aaron, and Ben Leaper? Is that your crew that sort of come across from War Machine and the like?
That's our crew.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fantastic effort. And I saw one of Ben's games. I thought he was a really, really strong player, actually. I was quite surprised he wasn't sort of up and around the 5-1 mark as well. But so really well done, mate. That is, to learn a game so quickly and do so well in a bracket with a lot of experienced players is really good. And I think once you get a little bit of free reps under your belt, you'll be dominating us all. So, tip of the hat, mate. In terms of this game specifically, I think it was a case of, as Simon said before, around experience in picking squads for a crisis. And I think you articulated it beautifully, Simon, in that I think you're a little bit narrow for this. Having pay to flips, I think 5 wide is a bit of a sweet spot. It's pretty hard to run 4 wide into 5 wide on pay to flips, because the extra bodies just to rotate around and go and get after those points is really helpful. And then the dispersed nature of it as well. I was actually pretty happy when I saw his squad, because refraction with Magneto is really good on those central E's, but on these split ones, it's almost, I'm not going to say irrelevant, but it's close to irrelevant. That's what
it's really easy to play around, because you can just avoid it by moving away. And even if he's already activated, you tag the objective that Magneto's sitting on, and you just leave and just don't bother spending the time doing it and just having them spend energy for refraction.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's obviously really good if you choose that violence and want to fight. It's a brilliant card. But if you as you said there, Jay, you just want to sort of rotate away from it, then you kind of left. I've done this many times myself playing Magneto. You're left a little bit frustrated that, geez, I've got this big 6 threat. Now I've done the big asteroid M turn, but he's stuck on one side of the board. His constructs are on the other, and all the characters are moved away from me. Like, I don't have climbing gear to access anymore. What do I do? How do I get him back in the game? So, it was a fair gambit for Simon to put Magneto into my Hulk, and if he got him, it probably sets him up reasonably well for the rest of the game. But as we know, dice be dice, and it didn't go his way there. But, overall, I was pleased that I had 5 wide versus 4 wide. And I really like, when I play Avengers, I like having these 2 big threats in Hulk and Jugs together, because as you guys articulated and saw, you can have one on either flank and you can rotate them around, put them in, pull them out, do what they need to do, be aggressive or defensive. and it's two big problems for your opponent to deal with.
So, Morgs, you've just dovetailed perfectly into the next thing I was going to say. I called at the beginning of the game, I said you've got one of them on each flank. They've each got a really powerful reposition, and you've got that opportunity as well to rotate the two of them. As I guess as Hulk or Jugs takes damage, you can rotate through. Was that pretty much the game plan? Was to use those repositions to control a flank and then just to rotate if necessary?
Mate, absolutely. What I seek to do when I play against Brotherhood is offer a couple of reasonable Asteroid M targets, because it's going to happen. It's just, and you can't really control it, but you can offer scenarios where you think it's okay. And once that Asteroid M's been used, I then try and rotate my team away from where Magneto is, because I don't want to fight him. He's just, he can just spike and do too much damage. But having those two big hitters up there, you go, hey, you choose left or right. That's up to you. Simon, dealer's choice. Then once you commit to him, he can generally survive a round of attacks, and as we saw, he can then get out of dodge. And he can still use Avengers Assemble if he wants to. And if I can set up a bit better, normally I've got some, bodyguards and escort to safeties and other things and other layers of defensive tech. But that allows them, or me as the player, for my opponent to not overcommit, but fully commit to somewhere, and then go after Hulk and invest a lot of cards and attacks and actions into getting him. And if they don't get him, he gets out of there and I can rotate Jugs in. And your opponent's left in, I assume for Simon, quite frustrated that, well, geez, what do I do now? Like, how do I get him? But the risk is when you are a little bit too brave with your big 6-threat Hulk, when they actually just tag him. And Jay, when we played in our game, you almost got Hulk. So it's a bit of a gambit with Hulk about how far you dangle him out and how much punishment he can take and still get out of there.
So
even if I had a... Oh, sorry, you go, Theo.
I was going to say, just even on the Hulk situation, though, Morgs, I think when you tempted out that Asteroid M, if you'd lost Hulk and Toad, you were still sitting, I think at the time, on 2 hammers and 2 portals. And with that 6 or 12 point advantage, 4 or 8 point advantage, or 7 point, or whatever it was just going to be so hard for Simon to fight back from that perspective. And I loved that little Hulk dance into the middle, where he just went, you know what, let's pull back, let's consolidate and keep this game conservative. And I think there'd be so many of us who'd try to go for the knockout blow, but I thought Simon might have learned a lot from just the way you grabbed that advantage and you really consolidated your team. So well played. I think you always learn a lot from playing Morgan, and I think Simon will probably learn those lessons as he watches replays and etc. So I think we'll see a better Simon and another wonderful run from Morgan through the cut as well.
I think seeing Simon get more experience under his belt, you're gonna go absolutely roughshod over us. You're just gonna wreck us, and I think the only chance you'll see of us playing is like maybe the first or second round at best, and then you'll be like, "Oh, Jay, where are you? Oh, you're down the bottom of the ladder. Okay, enjoy it down there." And I'll just be like, "Oh, I can come watch your games and talk about them. I can do that part."
Hey,
I can talk as well. I can talk underwater. So yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, can I just quickly say the only disappointment I had watching that is that Morgan, you shouldn't have won so quickly. I only got through like 1.5 drinks watching you. Like, what am I supposed to do now? Drink by myself without watching like a game? What am I supposed to do here?
That's not very fair.
Go and watch it again on YouTube.
Yeah, I was going to ask Simon, if you don't mind,
of course.
How have you? I mean, this is your first season. How have you found coming across? You are, from what I've heard and what I've learned, is you're highly competitive and a real top player in other systems. And you've only played, your 20-odd games, and you've now made the cut in your first season, gone 5-1, done terrifically well. How are you thinking about preparing for the finals? Like, what's your approach? Are you going to do some, go and use your team and do a whole bunch of test games and workshop your roster and tweaks? Or how are you going to approach it? Or is it just a bit of a laissez-faire, hey, let's just have a go and keep learning, and I'll just...
I wish I had a concrete plan, but a lot of my ability is innate.
Yep.
Because I don't have any time for practice games so I work full-time as a doctor and a university lecturer, and then I've got 3 kids, and I just don't have the time to play practice games. I think I played a few against Corey in the lead up to this, just to get my roster sorted. But yeah, I learn playing the league games and playing, I guess, the cut now. So that's going to be my learning So
Yeah, no, it's a
yeah,
good way
we
to
go.
do it. Yeah, and do you
It's
try
just-
and watch? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so in answer to your question that you're asking, I don't watch other people's games, and that's actually one of the reasons why I had such an aversion to streaming for everyone to watch, was because other people with more time than me would get an advantage that I wouldn't have. If they watched my games and saw what I played, as I said to you, I always play Mags Jugs because that's what I enjoy playing. It's just those other kind of tweaks to my list. Like I put Malekith in my list just because everyone seemed to be, and I just wanted to scare people. Obviously, it's not going to work on you. I had zero intention of playing Malekith in any game, and I don't have any intention of buying the model or painting it or anything like that.
I'll edit
What, you
that
don't
out.
want
Mind game.
I'll
You don't want
edit
the
that out, Simon,
1980s
for
like heavy metal sex tiger? Like, it's great. Like,
Yeah, no.
Simon, I'll
no.
edit that out
I'm
for
not all
the
about
for
that.
the cut round, mate, so no one will know that you're not going to run him.
Can't I change my list before then? Shit.
No, you get a new roster, mate.
Good.
Just to finish this off, I just want to round it up with a little bit of a comment. Jay was very, very excited that you both ran jugs, and there was so many breasts jokes flowing around.
only at the end. And
We
I
did
want the people
discuss-
listening.
we did discuss who had the best jugs, and I sort of stretched that out to who'd be best in a dress, and we haven't got a lot of votes come through, but the firm comment is that Morgan definitely has the pecs to pull off a strong dress. So make of that what you will, Morgs, but I didn't say it. Jay didn't say it. That's come from the peanut gallery. So
That being said, I did ask for crowd commentary on the gamer breasticles of you both. So
But yes, so there you go. That's the other challenge, is that which of these two competitors looks best in a dress. And Morgan, you've got the votes on that.
I don't know if I'm flattered or offended. It's
could be a little bit of both there. Could be a little bit of both there. But look,
maybe everyone just thinks you're the tits, Morgan.
Oh, there we go. That's a good pun to end on.
Yeah, look, thank you so much, guys. And look, it is hard if you get beat on stream. It can be frustrating. But look, I want to say thank you so much for being, both of you, willing to be out there to have your game streamed, to share your successes and your struggles. And I wish both of you the best of luck in the cut. I'm hoping to stream another couple of games, and it'll be lovely to follow you guys through a couple of rounds in the cut, and maybe even the whole way once again for Oceania. So well done, Morgan. Another regional title, but the big game's still to come for both of you.
Yeah.
Thanks for streaming, and Simon, thanks for the game. Great to meet you, play you, and
You
look
too.
forward to seeing your success, mate.
And we'll meet in person sometime soon. We do live in similar kind of geographical locations, so
Yeah, sounds good.
More importantly, are you going to meet in a dress?
No,
Look, I'm going to cut the
not
stream before
initially.
that.